It was a big trend a while ago, like a couple months ago, to call yourself the main character or to have like main character syndrome. And today I wanted to kind of talk about the concept of viewing yourself as the main character of your life to keep yourself progressing forward. I know that that term was used for people who were seeking attention, people who were trying to just yeah, I mean, be the main character, have everyone's eyes on them. You know, they thought they were more important than other people. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about in the sense of a social aspect in where you're trying to gain the attention of millions and you want to appear like a main character, like someone from a TV show or something. I'm talking about the mindset in your head of viewing yourself as the main character of your life. It may be kind of hard to comprehend, but you see your life through your eyes. You process things through your brain. You know, no one else can really see what you see or think what you think. And allowing yourself to be a passerby, being like just another term, an NPC in your own life, it fucking sucks. This last couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, I've kind of felt like an NPC. I felt like I'm just letting life pass me by. I'm just being carried along by my scheduled events like work or videos or streams, whatever. I haven't felt like a main character. I haven't felt like I'm actively doing things to progress my own story. And once I realized that, I love using this analogy of pulling an outside perspective. I try my best to visualize my situation from a third person's perspective and put myself in that third person to really get a unbiased kind of critical look at what's going on in my life. And I say that because that allows me to better judge where I should take my next steps in order to progress, in order to get out of where I am, whatever. I wanted to talk today about kind of putting yourself in that mindset that you are the main character of your life and you can't allow yourself to just be carried along by the wind. You know, you have to actively every day put in some form of effort towards a goal of yours in order to not feel like life is passing you up. It's I don't know if it's just a me thing, but I've said this before. If I don't do something productive every single day, I feel very useless. If I go to work and I don't make enough money in tips, or if I don't stream, or if I don't make a video, whatever it is, I feel very useless. I feel like I'm not doing anything, and when I feel like that, I kind of revert and regress back into that mindset of the side character, of the background character. I kind of regress into that mindset that what I do isn't substantial enough and I'm not worth it. And then it kind of leads me into more of a dark place from there. So, what I've done is not only have I said again, I've tried the retrospective third person angle to get a critical and logistical view of my situation, but I've also just tried to literally just remind myself that I am literally living life. I'm living life, you know. Everyone else might be as well, but I am, you know. These are my eyes. This is my thoughts. This is my actions, you know. I get to control all of this. So I'm not going to let it go to waste. I might be explaining this very poorly, but try and do it like this. When you watch people online and you watch like IRL streamers or reality TV. Reality TV is my favorite example. IRL streaming kind of fits into this because it's the same concept, but you're watching other people live life instead of living it yourself. You are literally a spectator to someone else's life, whether it be, I know on only one that's coming to my head is like Kardashians. It's very exaggerated life, very glamorous life. My mom watches a lot of those reality shows. And all I can think is, why don't you go live that life? Why are you sitting here watching someone else live as your entertainment? Why are you actively being just just a passerby? You're just letting the wind take you along through life, and then you find entertainment through other people living their lives. Like, you could go live that. You could go experience that firsthand, and you choose not to. It's weird. But in that same concept, people people love the idea of living such a nice life. They love the idea of being in a position in which they are financially free. They are like able to not worry about bills every month, you know? They just have the resources. They don't need to worry month to month to month about rent being due, about this being due, whatever. And I think for a lot of people, it is easier to watch other people live the life you want instead of try to attain that life yourself. Now, I'm not going to get into the economics of how that works because I understand it is literally easier to turn the fucking TV on than it is to work for decades to try and make that life for yourself. But my point is that a lot of people, they don't view themselves as someone who is able to attain that form of success because they don't view themselves as a main character. They don't view themselves as worthy enough, as important enough. A lot of the reason those people are successful in the first place is not because they felt like everyone else. They didn't feel like someone who can blend into a crowd. They didn't feel like they were an NPC. They they knew they had something. They knew they had something worth sharing for the world, or whatever. They knew they had something. And through that, they were able to build an empire of entertainment or whatever, you know. But it starts with them thinking, I am the main character. I am living my life through my eyes. And what I want to see is this, this, and this. So I'm going to attain this, this, and this. Personally, it is really hard to view myself in such a manner, but I do it in spite of that because I know how that works. I know that having that initial base layer of underlying success as, well, again, just the base layer for my mental, that I will succeed. That's the rock bottom. Every time I hit rock bottom, it's just I will succeed in my head. I know that having that as the base for my mentality will eventually lead me to the success that I want in life. And I only have that mentality because I view myself as someone who's worth it, as someone who can attain it, and as someone who deserves it because I view myself as the main character of my life. What I'm trying to say is that viewing yourself as someone who is worthy, as someone who deserves the success that they want in life, is the first step into achieving that. I'm not going to sell you some bullshit. I'm not going to sell you a course. I'm just going to tell you genuinely the first step into achieving that greater level of success is to believe in yourself and to call yourself a winner and to say, you know what, I have this. No one else may think I have this, but I know I have this, you know? No one's here to help you get out of bed. You gotta just get out of bed and get out and do it, you know? No one's gonna believe in you immediately. No one's gonna pull you out of the bed. You just gotta roll out. You gotta go, you know? You gotta be the first person that boosts yourself up because that's the most important boost out of all of them. Thank you.